Okay, we shall continue to take a look at the consideration of the report that was presented before the House yesterday evening. That was the beginning of the debate, the allotted day 1 and day 2. This afternoon, that general debate on it will be resuming, being the third and the final allotted day for that particular consideration. But in his presentation of the report, the chairperson of the Budget and Appropriations Committee indicated that some sectors have received more allocations, or more resources have been put in more sectors.
Quorum now. Clerk.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, June 5th, 2025. A. Approvals granted under Article 223 of the Constitution in the financial year 2024-2025 from the National Treasury and Economic Planning. B. Auditor General's main report and summary report on national government ministries, departments, and agencies for the year 2023-2024. C. Auditor General's report on the national government funds for the financial year 2023-2024. D. Reports of the Auditor General and financial statement for the years ended 30th June 2023 and the certificates therein in respect of 1. David Mbiti, Wambuli Technical and Vocational College. 2. Ngwen Technical Training and Vocational College. 3. Kibwezi West Technical and Vocational College. 4. Lagdera Technical and Vocational College. 5. Lodwar Technical and Vocational College. 6. Moi Girls, Moi High School, Eldoret. 7. Moi Ben Technical and Vocational College. 8. Mulango Technical and Vocational College. 9. Mwala Technical and Vocational College. 10. Olchoro Secondary School. 11. Rachonyo Technical and Vocational College. 12. Rift Valley Institute of Science and Technology. 13. Sekuru Technical Training Institute. 14. Turbo Technical and Vocational College. And 15. Wote Technical Training Institute. E. Reports of the Auditor General and financial statement for the years ended 30th June 2024 and the certificates therein in respect of 1. Agricultural Development Corporation and Agricultural Finance Corporation, ADCFC, Development Limited Liability Partnership. 2. Communist Party of Kenya. 3. Elders Technical and Vocational College. 4. Mgen Technical Training and Vocational College. 5. Ijara Technical and Vocational College. 6. Kimimini Technical and Vocational College. 7. Mandera Technical Training Institute. 8. Rachonyo Technical and Vocational College. 9. Ramu Technical and Vocational College. And 10. Turbo Technical and Vocational College. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I lay.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable members, we have a supplementary order paper, and the business of the afternoon will be as laid out. Order number 8 on the ordinary and not supplementary order paper, which was a procedural motion, has now been exited. It's not on. Number 2, today being the second allotted day for the motion on consideration of budget estimates, we will allot the whole of this afternoon for debate on that motion so that we can give as many honorable members as we can to ventilate and give their views on the budget estimates. So the Committee of Supply, which appears at order number 11, will now be shifted to be done on Tuesday, so that I give as many honorable members as I can for an opportunity for their views to come on record on the budget estimates. Pardon? Yes, Martin? For purposes of this house, Martin is a young member. He's a first-timer. Isn't he? Is he a second-timer? Martin, then why are you behaving like a first-timer? Okay, before we go to questions, allow me to acknowledge the following institutions in the House. In the Speaker's Gallery, we have my Mahio girls from Naivasha, Nakuru. Students, when your school is mentioned, you stand up to be acknowledged. My Mahio, thank you. You may take your seats. We have Nakuru West Secondary School from Nakuru West. In the public gallery, we have Githunguri Girls High School from Kandara, Murang'a County, and we have Ndagene Boys High School from Imendi South, Meru. On behalf of the Speaker and the whole House, we welcome all of you, students, your teachers, and those accompanying you to the House of Parliament. We'll now go to statements. Is Honorable Mburi Aburi in the House? You have a date with destiny. I will give you have you looked at the Hansard on what the Speaker ruled yesterday?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And what the Speaker directed?
Yes.
Is now your opportunity to purge your mischief.
Asanti, Bwana Speaker,
Yes.
kwa kunipa nafasi hii.
Speak loud, I can't hear you.
Yeah. Asanti, Bwana Speaker, kwa kunipa nafasi hii. Kwanza mimi kwa roho yangu na akili yangu niko hapa kusema pole kwa mheshimiwa dada yangu, kwa sababu mimi mwenyewe nilikosea nikachukua ile video, na ile video ni Mporo Mtwaburi mwenyewe ndiye alichukua. Lakini baadaye mheshimiwa Speaker, tukiwa na ndugu zetu na marafiki wetu pale nje pale, mmoja akaniambia nimsambazie, nikasambaza. Sikuwa najua eti ya kwamba hiyo kitu itaeni nje, kwa sababu hii ilikuwa ni kuharibu jina. Kwa hivyo mimi kivyangu, mheshimiwa Speaker, nasema pole na hiyo nisamehewe. Maandiko nasema kwamba hakuna dhambi yoyote duniani haiwezi kusamehewa, hata iko rendi kama ndamu. So mimi kivyangu, mheshimiwa Speaker, naomba msamaha. Thank you, Speaker.
Well done, Aburi. Yeah. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Mburaburi. The Holy Book, the Bible, has one central message, that the beginning of healing lies in the acknowledgement of wrongdoing and the subsequent uttering of one magic word, sorry. So we forgive you. And Umulher, if you are harboring any hard feelings, it is you to forgive, and the House forgives you. There is no point of order to be allowed, because there is no motion here against Mburaburi, so nobody will discuss Mburaburi unless your point of order is on something else. Pardon?
It is important that he confirms to the House that being an elder of Nchurincheke, his apology is accepted everywhere and all over.
Yes, Mheshimiwa. It is not a Meru affair, but go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in Meru traditions and customs, when an elder acknowledges the mistake and begs for pardon and forgiveness, it's given openly and with open heart. So we request the lady who feels that the mistake was done on her to forgive, and even the House to forgive Mburaburi for this mistake. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Speaker speaks for the House. The House has forgiven Mburaburi unconditionally. Umulher.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have heard the apology of Honorable Mpuri Apuri, and we spoke on phone on that same day when the incident happened. And I'd asked him not to share that clip because I am a member of parliament who's guarded her integrity. And the incident that happened does not describe my nature and my habit. And he agreed not to share the video clip. But I am aware that, and he mentioned it, that a woman MP had shared that video clip. I will accept his apology on condition that he shares that name so that I can also get an apology from the said woman MP, especially being a woman MP, Mr. Speaker. We have a serious movement on women empowerment and women discussions. So for the clip to even be shared by a female MP is even more painful than what Mpuri Apuri had done. So that is my request, Mr. Speaker, and I would wish to know. Thank you.
Honorable Mulheri, I forgive you for your wrongdoing also. Unconditionally, that you fought in the presence of Parliament, whether you are the victim or not, you deserved some form of punishment. Order, take your seat. The Speaker found that you are aggressed, so you are defending yourself, but that notwithstanding, there is a famous case from Zanzibar, Kimanga versus Republic, that says a policeman or a reasonable person cannot in his presence be party to a breach of peace because of the very nature of what you do. So being a member of parliament, even under extreme provocation, there's no justification for a physical fight. The woman member who solicited for the clip from Mburaburi and who subsequently circulated, and I know who she is, and we shall keep her name under wraps for purposes of not escalating this unfortunate incident. So we leave it there. Even if you get to know her name, it just compounds the problem. So we leave it there. Isn't that so, members? Yes, Umulher.
Mr. Speaker, I am very grateful that you considered my misbehavior and indecency, and it is not an image of this House. But Mr. Speaker, I also know the female member of parliament. And it's very painful because it was shared with a blogger, Mr. Speaker. She shared it with a blogger and was bragging about it, that she shared with it. And we have, Mr. Speaker, it's painful. But regardless, I accept his apology.
Yes.
And I will let it be at that. But Mr. Speaker, she must also apologize to the House.
She is unknown, so let's keep it that way. She is unknown and will not expose our own members unfairly. Mburaburi was the genesis of the mischief, and he has retracted and apologized. So let's leave it there. Let's go to statements. Yes, Robert, what is it? Let the chips lie where they fell.
Various constituencies. That's why we have written Nairobi here.
Honorable members, before we go to statements, in the speakers gallery also, there is a group of women leaders from Nairobi County, from various constituencies. Madam Dobby, no, they are called Dobby Women Network. Madam Grace Ngugi, when we mention your name, you stand up. Then take your seat. Madam Agnes Mulesi, Madam Beatrice Korore, Madam Jane Batia, and Madam Rose Okello. Munakaribishwa nyote kwa jumba la bunge kwa kikao cha alasiri hii. Teresia Wanjiru, statement request. Teresia Wanjiru. Is she in the House? Majority Leader, somebody is whispering that it will be a miracle if Teresia is in the House. Question dropped. Anton will watch.
Thank you.
Anton will watch.
I'm present, Your Speaker.
You are present. Go ahead.
I thank you. Honorable Speaker, I rise to request for a statement regarding the status of the Kenya school meal policy. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Education, regarding the status of Kenya school meal policy. Honorable Speaker, on the 20th of November 2024, this House received information from the Cabinet Secretary for Education that the Ministry had drafted a policy document intended to streamline and enhance the provisions of school meals across the country. The Cabinet Secretary further assured the House that the Ministry aimed to have this critical policy finalized and operational by the end of the first quarter of 2025, a timeline which has since elapsed. Honorable Speaker, the importance of school feeding program in our country cannot be overstated. Empirical evidence demonstrates a direct correlation between the provisions of meals in schools and improved enrolled rates, particularly among learners from vulnerable and marginalized backgrounds. The assurance of a daily meal reduces barriers to accessing education, thereby boosting school attendance, enhancing concentration in class, and ultimately improving academic performance. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Education, to apprise this House on the following. 1, the current status of the draft Kenya school meals policy, and 2, whether the policy has been finalized, and if not, provide a definitive date by which this critical policy will be submitted to the National Assembly for consideration. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Signed, Anthony Tiolwach, Member of Parliament, Mathare constituency. I thank
Chairman Education, when can you bring a response?
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Speaker, I think in 2 weeks' time, we'll be able to bring the response.
2 weeks.
Yes.
Thank you. 2 weeks. Honorable Peter Lochakapong. Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to request for a statement regarding illegal commercial mining activities taking place in Sigor constituency. Now, Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 42.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining regarding seemingly illegal commercial mining activities taking place in Laminyeusi and Kambikaraya within Sigor constituency. Honorable Speaker, there have been reported apparently illegal and unregulated commercial mining operations taking place in Laminyeusi and Kambikaraya. These activities pose serious environmental risks, including contamination of water sources, degradation of agricultural land, and destruction of natural habitats. Additionally, the activities threaten the livelihoods of the local communities and have contributed to increased insecurity due to interclan clashes over the control and exploitation of mineral resources. Further, the alleged operators are unlicensed and are employing unsafe mining methods, thereby endangering not only the lives of miners, but also the general well-being of residents in the surrounding communities. Now, Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining on the following. 1, provide a report enumerating all licensed mining activities within Sigor constituency. 2, indicate the immediate steps that the Ministry of Mining is taking to stop the ongoing illegal commercial mining activities in Laminyeusi and surrounding areas. 3, measures put in place by the ministry to rehabilitate and restore areas that have been environmentally degraded as a result of these unlawful operations. And 4, Honorable Speaker, outline existing or planned initiatives to engage and support local communities in the management of mineral resources in a lawful, regulated, and sustainable manner. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair, Environment. Yes, Chairman, when can you bring a response?
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Vincent Musyoka is on a special assignment of the committee, and we have a similar statement by Honorable Dr. Rico on the same. It is active. Maybe we can meet with him next week, on Tuesday or Thursday next week, and then we can be able to discuss on the. It is just similar. It's the same. Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, although the chair is represented by the honorable member from Turkana, Honorable Speaker, maybe I would also, just to reinforce the request of that statement by Honorable Ochaks, and the other one that the member speaks about the member of the committee, is to request the committee, because as he says, this is a second such statement request on illegal mining. Yes. Honorable Speaker, you are aware that at one point we were told all mining licenses to some extent had been stopped.
Yes.
And we are still unclear on how people are being licensed to do mining, who is licensed, who is not licensed. Maybe just to request the committee, Honorable Speaker, to go beyond just the statement, to now engage with the ministry on what needs to be done moving forward. Yes. Ideally, we should even have a board that is licensing miners,
yes,
or the people engaging in the mining business, not having ministry officials, one or two people deciding who you license, who you don't license. Just like in the gambling business or the betting business, we have the BCLB board. We ought to have a mining board that is scrutinizing who is mining, who is being licensed, where they are being licensed, and to mine what. Because it's not just illegal mining, Honorable Speaker. People are getting mining licenses for quarrying. And in some of those areas, like Honorable Ochak says, people are mining gold and other very precious metals. If you go to Embu, Tharaka Nithi, the same thing is happening, Honorable Speaker. And these are natural resources owned by the people of Kenya, that are being exploited by foreigners and being shipped out of this country, and it's therefore imperative that the committee takes the responsibility of guiding the House on what we need to do in terms of legislation, whether we form a board or whatever we need to do, so that even the decisions to decide who is licensing are not being made by one person, is a collegiate decision. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mother, you've heard that?
Well guided, Honorable
In
Speaker.
responding, combine the statements if they relate to similar issues. And if you are going to invite the minister to the committee, then you invite Honorable Ochakapong and whoever else asked. Then, subsequent to that, you bring an answer to the House.
Well guided.
In 2 weeks.
Well guided.
Doris Donya, Kisii County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to request a statement regarding unspent National Government Affirmative Action Fund for Kisii County financial year 2023-2024. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning regarding unspent National Government Affirmative Action Fund monies for Kisii County 2023-2024. Honorable Speaker, I rise to seek clarification regarding the unspent funds amounting to 7.9 million allocated for the Kisii County Woman Representative under the National Government Affirmative Action Fund for the financial year 2023-2024, which were reportedly returned to the Treasury. These funds were meant for the various community development projects aimed at empowering women, youth, and vulnerable groups in Kisii County in line with the objectives of NGAF. Honorable Speaker, despite my continued follow-ups, I have yet to receive an update regarding the reinstatement of these funds for reinvestment into the planned initiatives. The delay in reallocation is deeply concerning as it has stalled critical programs meant to uplift marginalized communities, promote economic empowerment, and enhance service delivery within Kisii County. Moreover, the failure to reinstate these funds goes against the spirit of affirmative action as enriched in the Constitution. Article 27, 6, and 8 of the Constitution obligates the state to take legislative and policy measures to redress historical disadvantages suffered by women and other marginalized groups. Returning these funds to the Treasury instead of utilizing them for the intended purpose undermines these constitutional provisions and denies the people of Kisii County the benefits they are entitled to. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning to appraise the House on the following: the reasons why the unspent NGAF funds allocated for Kisii County Woman Representative were returned to the Treasury instead of being utilized for the intended purpose. 2, the status of the request of reinstatement of these funds and the expected timeline for their release and utilization. The measures the government is taking to ensure that funds meant for affirmative action programs are not lost due to bureaucratic inefficiencies. And lastly, the safeguards in place to prevent similar occurrences in the future, ensuring that NGAF funds are fully utilized to benefit the intended communities. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr.
Yes, Donya.
Mr. Speaker, it is the National Treasury which gives us the DAs, the district accountants. They are the ones who returned my money, which were meant for the Kisii people, Mr. Speaker. So I don't understand why their people returned my money.
Chair Finance, or any member from Finance. Majority Leader, you can convey to the Chair Finance to bring a response on this in 2 weeks. Yes. Responses to statements. Statement request by the Honorable Dr. Charles Onchoke, Bonchari, Chair Housing, Urban Planning and Public Works. Chair Housing. Yes, Vice Chair, you have a response? Give Rindikiri. Give Honorable Rindikiri the mic. Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Onchale requested a statement from the Cabinet Secretary through the committee. Mr. Speaker, this is a statement by the Cabinet Secretary to the National Assembly Departmental Committee on Housing, Urban Planning and Public Works on matters regarding collapsed residential buildings in Bonchari constituency. Mr. Speaker, the building construction industry in Kenya is a key component of the country's infrastructure sector, involving engagement of specialized professionals to oversee planning, design, and development of safe structures for human habitation. As a strategic pillar of Kenya's economic development and urbanization, the building construction sector is guided by various legal, institutional, and regulatory frameworks, with its growth driven by several factors, such as population growth, urban migration, urban policies, and foreign investment strategies. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this industry remains a key enabler to socio-economic development, yet faces several challenges related to quality assurances and safety standards. Despite these challenges, the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development is supporting and advising our investors in various development of safe and resilient infrastructure for human habitation. Mr. Speaker, buildings experiencing collapses have been a source of concern to both national and the county government due to their potential threat to human life, economic stability, and property integrity. It is important, Mr. Speaker, to note that various factors contribute to these building collapses, such as poor workmanship, substandard materials used in construction, inadequate supervision, poor quality controls, inadequate maintenance of buildings, and extraordinary load or combination of those factors. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, rising incidences of such events have underscored the critical need for improved building safety protocols and effective mitigation strategies. In light of these challenges, the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development has established a robust mechanism for ensuring compliance with subnational, national, and international standards. Particularly, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry is processing mandatory incorporation of the building code in all building approval processes at county and national levels. Number two, developing a cabinet memorandum on e-building approvals and management systems in Kenya to ease building approvals processing by the counties, inspections and reporting. Number three, developing a legal framework to provide for the much needed coordination, enhanced regulation, management and development in the building industry to support building businesses and the industry. Number four, strengthening existing regulatory bodies and the county government department to oversee adherence and provide guidance on matters building safety. Number five, carrying out independent compliance audit and the taking of views of high risk or large scale project. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, these initiatives aim to enhance the quality and safety and reliability of our construction project across Kenya by ensuring that all construction materials, processes, and personnel involved meet the highest standards of excellence. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Nchoke. If you are satisfied, you don't have to say anything. We can go to the next.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to respond or to react to the statement read by my friend, Honorable Indikiri, on behalf of his committee. Honorable Speaker, this statement has two fundamental flaws. One, it states that the developer is in custody. He is not. It states that the developer supported the families with the funeral arrangements and that is engaging with the families to support them going forward. He has not. I say this with authority because today I spoke with the DCIO on the ground. I spoke with the assistant chief and the chief who confirmed what I just stated. As a matter of fact, the 5 people who died come from very poor families. They are very young people who left behind orphans and widows. Mr. Speaker, you may recall that around about that time when they died, you supported us, and thank you very much, to give them a decent send-off. But for the CS to provide a statement which is fundamentally incorrect is baffling, and also begs the question whether the ministry is serious in tackling the issues raised in my statement that I laid before this House. Honorable Speaker, having said that, the 5 people are today waiting for justice. The young families are waiting for justice. And in this statement, despite the fact that the minister or the CS has indicated that the ministry conducts regular site inspections which are conducted by qualified professionals, and that they require that developers submit or contractors submit mandatory compliance reports. And the fact that on the 3rd of September the year 2024, this developer, this project was issued with a notice to suspend works because it was not compliant, it was not following the laid down procedures, the laws and policies. It continues. Where were the inspectors that we are told are professional inspectors? Where were these regular inspections that we are told in this statement? Honorable Speaker, this lackluster approach to very serious matters when 5 people are dead, the families are waiting for justice.
Honorable Nchoke, you are making a speech instead of seeking clarification.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, because it's a very painful matter. That's why I'm getting a bit emotional.
Yes.
So, in my view, Honorable Speaker, we require that the CS brings a substantive, correct, and a statement which is action-oriented that is going to support these families and justice is going to be done, and not one that is raised with lies and inaccuracies. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Indikiri. Vice Chair, is your statement full of inaccuracies?
This statement was sought through the committee. And the main part of this was the broader response to the issues, because this is specific on the residential buildings. What Mr. Speaker will request is to engage the honorable member Ombonchali. We will call him so that now we can seek clarification exactly on those matters, so that we can also involve the CS on the matters list. We will.
Honorable Njoke, you can engage the chair, and if need be, if you need support from my office, you can reach out. Joseph Gitari has a request to administration. Tongoyo. Security situation in Kirinyaga. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In response to the statement being sought by Member of Parliament, Kirinyaga Central, Honorable Joseph Gigari, on the security situation in Kirinyaga, I want to state as follows. Honorable Speaker, on the 4th January, Stasi Nyakio Kinywa, age 13, grade 7 people, was reported missing by auntie at Kirgoya police station via Dobi number 29 of April 2025 at around 2:30. Her body was discovered 3 hours later in a coffee plantation near her home in Kabingo. Following a search led by relative, friends, and area chief, preliminary investigation indicated signs of sexual assault and strangulation. A postmortem confirmed the cause of death as hypoxia, due suffocation, and strangulation following an assault. Forensic samples, including swabs and fingernail scrubbings, were submitted to the government chemist for analysis. And the case remained under active investigation, with efforts underway to identify and apprehend the suspects. Honorable Speaker, on that same month, William Mboga and his wife, Joyce Wangu Mboga, were attacked by 3 armed assailants, and around 2:15, after closing the M-Pesa shop at Block Area Shopping Center in Kirgoya, Mr. Mboga sustained a gunshot wound to the right hand, while Mrs. Mboga suffered serious head injury. They were initially treated at SEK Mount Kenya Hospital and later transferred to Kirgoya Medical Center, where the Mboga was admitted for 1 week and the lady for 1 month. They are currently recovering at home, and the incident was reported at Karaini Police Station via OB number 10 of March 2025, and nothing was stolen during the attack. A spent cartridge and 2 live rounds recovered from the scene were subjected to ballistic analysis, which linked the firearm used to another robbery with a violent incident that occurred on the 10th February at Mwelimu Farm in Ruiru Sub-County. In that incident, 3 suspects riding an unmarked motorcycle and armed with a pistol fired 1 round and ordered the victim to lie down before robbing them of valuable and money. The matter was reported on 31st, on VAD or bin 31/10/02 of 2024. Investigation into both instances remain active with ongoing efforts to trace and apprehend the suspects. Honorable Speaker, on January 24th, one Ms. Gladys Nyambura Njugi was robbed by a gang of live assailants riding on 2 unregistered motor vehicles at around 21:30 in Kirgoya town. The attackers blocked her path and stole her handbags, which contained household items, including a pack of unga, garbage, and the rest. During the incident, the resident, Mr. Peter Karima, responded to a distress call and was fatally shot. His body was moved to Kirgoya County Referral Hospital mortuary. 2 spent cartridge and 5 live rounds were recovered from the scene. A postmortem confirmed Karime died from a massive internal hemorrhage, and ballistic analysis linked the firearm used to the aforementioned Ruiru shooting incident on the 10th of February. The matter remains under active investigation, and efforts to identify and apprehend the suspects are ongoing. Honorable Speaker, on the measures being put, an increased foot and mobile patrol within the area of Kirgoya town and surrounding, conducting public barasas with the stakeholders, and including community policing groups in Nyumba Kumi, and of course incorporating the private security firms and residents to promote collective vigilance, and residents are urged to report suspicious activities, particularly individuals with no clear source of income of those active at night. And enforcement action targeting motorcycles without registration numbers or those not affiliated with recognized circles to curb their use in criminal activities, and the joint intelligence efforts are ongoing. Honorable Speaker, on the reason for apparent inadequate of security agencies, Mr. Speaker, there have been an upsurge in criminal incidents in Kirgoya and its environment, some of which have resulted in loss of lives, investigations have identified a gang armed with an illegal firearm responsible for robbery and violent attacks. Ballistic report confirmed that the spent cartridge from these incidents are linked to the same firearm. The security agencies are actively pursuing apprehension of these gang members and the recovery of their firearms to restore safety. Additional resources, including personnel and equipment, are being deployed to enhance security operation in the region. The government remains committed to ensure safety and the security of residents in Kirinyaga. All efforts are being made to bring the perpetrators to justice and prevent further incidents. Signed by Honorable Chumba Murkomen, CS for Interior. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
You finished? Gitari? Marianne, take your seat. Let's finish with Gitari first.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the chairman of the committee and the entire committee, because when you directed them to invite me when the IG was there and the DIGs, I did attend and we started this matter. However, Mr. Speaker, I'm a bit concerned about two things. Number one, you directed the committee to give an interim report, but I can assure you the interim report they gave us about 2 months ago is the same report they have come with. It's only that they have just changed the date. Number two, Mr. Speaker, I'm a bit worried. I raised this issue on 25th February 2025. And some of the incidents occurred early January, Mr. Speaker. For how long will the people of Kirinyaga keep on waiting? The only thing that we hear from the ministry is that investigations are underway, we are doing this. Out of the 4 cases that I had asked, Mr. Speaker, even none of them has got yielded results. People in Kirinyaga are living in fear, Mr. Speaker, because we don't know what these people can do, because they are still at large. Some of them are known people, but they are just free, and they might commit the same crime. I think we need more answers, Speaker, than just what we have gotten. I thank you.
Marianne Kaitany. Give her the mic. Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. About last week, a week ago, there was a report that had been given to us by the Chair, Departmental Committee of Internal Security, on the issue of Koimburi. And we had asked that, he actually told us that he would give us a response within a week. Today being Thursday, I think the week is finished, is over, and I think it would be important that he gives this House an update, knowing that this matter is of great national importance, not only to this House, but to the nation at large, because everyone needs to understand this self-abduction business, whatever became of it, and the actions being taken by the security sector, if any. Thank you.
Tongoyo.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Clarify guitarists before you come to that.
Honorable Speaker, on the issue of a colleague from Kirinyaga, it's really unfortunate that several members of the society, of that community had lost lives. I share really the pain and concern, but I want to assure you and the country that personally I'm going to take personal intervention to see how to it, even if it calls probably maybe change of security personnel in the area. And Honorable Speaker, also, it's good to be appreciated that at least there are some leads pointing to a particular gang who has been identified to be using the same gun. So maybe after this we may need to have a session with him so that we see quick intervention with IG, even if it means changing the officers in the area.
Right.
Yes.
Kaitany. Marianne Kaitany. Your colleague Koimburi has not appeared in the House since the incident. You promised a comprehensive statement.
Honorable Speaker, it's true, I did promise to give the latest update, but since I gave the last one, Honorable Speaker, there has been a lot of development, including even the apprehension and of course prosecution of the lady who is a member of a county assembly who spent the night with the Ngaibori. But not alleged, it's been confirmed. Sorry? It has been confirmed, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, what became evident for all of us and the country to know, this was self-abduction and self-hospitalization. And maybe, Honorable Speaker, being today is a Thursday, maybe Tuesday, you allow me Tuesday to produce the latest. But what I can tell you, it is obvious, it's evidence. This was for cinema, it was just drama. And those are people who are hell-bent to portray the government on the wrong light. So give me to Tuesday, Honorable Speaker. But we are rest assured that was just for cinema and drama, self-abduction, self-hospitalization, and I remain to be so. What, Honorable Speaker, we should even do as a House, before we wait the other agency like EACC to pursue and do what is rightful, we should take our position, Honorable Speaker, here. Even the Committee of Privileges, to summon the Member of Parliament. This is the Member of Parliament who even previously had even accused this House to have been bribed to vote in a particular manner, Honorable Speaker.
Professor, what is it?
You know, it's disturbing to me that being a medical professional, that a senior medical professional of the status of Dr. Gikonyo can falsely admit a patient to a hospital. Until these things have been confirmed, please let's hold our horses and stop condemning the hospital, the medical practitioner, and other people that are involved in the care of this person. Please, it's not right for Dr. Gikonyo to be accused of admitting somebody falsely, because he cannot admit somebody to his hospital when that person is not sick. That is not acceptable. And if that happens, then there is action to be taken up from the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council. Until that kind of thing happens, please let's not destroy people's
Yes, Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with Professor that this is a matter that is still under investigations, and we need to give the investigating authorities time to verify whether even that admission was legitimate, because you may also be admitted for other things, especially when you hear you are alleged to have spent a night with somebody, so you may have other issues that may have caused your admission in hospital. So let us leave that to the competent authorities in that. But more importantly, Honorable Speaker, is to ask the chair of the Security Committee, the Honorable Tongoyo, because after the said abduction or disappearance of the Honorable Koimburi, we saw the disgraced former impeached Deputy President allege that the Honorable Koimburi had been poisoned and inhaled very dangerous gases. And he could not even speak, his throat was hurt. He had actually diagnosed, he had the diagnosis of what gases Koimburi had inhaled. He had even now been able to diagnose that he can't even speak. And I wondered, how did the impeached Deputy President know that this victim who could not speak had inhaled some dangerous gases that are only known to the disgraced former Deputy President? And the Chair Security Committee must take this matter more seriously than he is doing. He must get a written statement from the Inspector General of Police and the doctors, more so from the Inspector General of Police, telling us what investigations has he done, has he carried out to even get statements from one Rigathi Gachagua, who seemed to have more information than even the victim himself on his inhaling of dangerous gases in a coffee plantation. So Rigathi Gachagua must be able to tell the police, these gases that Koimburi inhaled, were they inhaled at the hotel in Gatundu with this lady who he's alleged to have spent the night with? Did he inhale these gases from the chemicals that spray coffee in the coffee plantation where he went to sleep in the morning? Or was it in the ambulance that his staff organized for him? It is important that we know this, Honorable Speaker, so that tomorrow, Honorable Speaker, I do not allege what is not there, especially on serious matters like kidnappings and abductions, Honorable Speaker, and try to make political capital out of it, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, the Honorable Tongoyo must give us an update from the police and the medical doctors who are attending to the so-called victims. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, let's not escalate this. As a custodian of the interests of all of you, including Honorable Koimburi, Honorable Tongoyo, next week on probably Wednesday, you bring a comprehensive report about your colleague who has not reported to the House since the disappearance and reappearance, so that we can also be able to know what is happening around him. I don't want to escalate this, Deputy Speaker. Let's leave it there, because we will degenerate into discussing the personal conduct of a member without a motion, and that is against standing orders. Let's leave it there. Honorable Emmanuel Wangwe's statement, Tongoyo, Wednesday you bring
I will, well guided.
A comprehensive statement, including what the professor has said and what everybody else has said.
Honorable Speaker, but it will be an uphill task, at least on the issue to regard the Dr. Kikonyo, because I don't have the capacity to compel him to give the report. Remember, we went there.
If you don't get it, we'll draw our own inference. Just bring.
You remember, Honorable Speaker, you did instruct that we go there last, and we are completely denied access. So we may still undergo the same.
Okay. Hold it, Togoyo. Let me acknowledge students who are in the gallery before they leave. Moi High School, Kabarak from Rongai, Nakuru, in the Speaker's Gallery. Kajiunduthi High School from Mara in Tarakaniti, and Mutu's Primary and Junior School from Bere, South Embu. I've been requested by two members, the Honorable David Ocheng, who says his son is in Kabarak, and Letipila. I give them a minute each.
Thank you
David
so much.
Ocheng, you have a minute.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I believe the students' visit to this parliament normally is for information and education. And so I want to take this opportunity to welcome all the students who are seated, all the public and speakers gallery to parliament, and to ask them to know that this August House is the ultimate place for politics. And that if you do well in whichever field, being a doctor, engineer, teacher, all of us are in this house representing different and various interests. And so you are welcome to Parliament, all of you, and hope to see you, some of you here in the future. Thank you.
Letipila. Letipila is not here. Murugara, 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Speaker, we shared a class with Mr. Letipila at the great Moi High School, Kabrak, when it was named that way. And I take this opportunity to welcome the students of that great school from the Rift Valley. I know they've maintained it ever since those days when I enrolled in that school in March 1986 and left in November 1987. And on your gallery, we have Kayunduthi Boys High School from the Rakanithi, and closely with them is also Muthambi Boys from the same county. two other great schools that are well known in the country because of their great performances. Mine is to welcome the students to this house and to tell them to observe the proceedings, to see how their leaders actually conduct their business, and when they go back, is to put emphasis on their studies so that tomorrow they become great leaders of this country. I welcome the students. Thank you very much.
1 minute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. May I also join my colleagues in welcoming all the students who have made to the Parliamentary House today, and particularly those students from Moi High School, Kabarak, where I was an alumni. And it so happens, Speaker, sir, about 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to go and speak to them as an alumni and tell them, welcome, may it be a session that you're going to learn. And I do know we have two other members who are not here who are also alumni of this great institution. There are many that have been there in the past. And of course, when I look at those that are standing here, I see several in the future who are going to be in this house. I thank you. May you learn from here.
Thank you.
And there are also several parents who are here also.
Thank
like
you.
Millie Odhiambo, Honorable
For
Speaker.
the parents and those who went there, I join you in welcoming the students from both Kabarak and the other schools. We also acknowledge Mudambi boys from Mara, Tarakanithi. All the schools, welcome to the House of Parliament and feel comfortable. Emmanuel Wangwe's statement. Yes, Tongoyo.
So, Honorable Speaker, so do I proceed?
Go ahead.
Okay. Honorable Speaker, on Honorable Wanga's statement regarding the status of investigation into the murder of Madam Rosalinda Akinyi, I want to state as follows. Honorable Speaker, on the 17th April, approximately 5:30, Mr. Paul Weshuli reported at Shinda Police Station via OB number 37170425 regarding a robbery with violence incident. He reported that an identified motor vehicle intercepted a border on en route from the Cooperative Bank, Mumias branch, and robbed the pillion passenger, Madam Rosalinda Akinyi Wanga, of Kenya shilling 285,000. Tragically, she died on the spot. Initial reports suggested that she had been shot by a known assailant aboard the said motor vehicle. Her body was later transported to St. Mary's Mission Hospital, mortuary in Mumias. The postmortem examination, Honorable Speaker, conducted on the 21st April, contradicted the initial gunshot claim, revealing that Madam Wanga died due to internal bleeding resulting from sharp force trauma sustained during an assault. This finding prompted the immediate launch of the comprehensive investigation. A miscellaneous application number 00033 of 2025 was filed at the Mumia Law Courts, requesting court orders to obtain CCTV footage from Cooperative Bank, Mumias branch, covering the time frame between 1300 and 1600 on the day of the incident. The same application sought the victim's bank account statement as well as the M-Pesa and call data record of both the victim and the potential suspect, who is a border rider from Safaricom. Following the issuance of the court orders, the relevant institutions were served to have complied. Investigating officers have since received the victim's bank statement and CCTV footage, both of which are currently under analysis. The border rider, identified as Joshua Muteke Wafula, was initially detained as a person of interest but was later released pending further investigation. The preliminary analysis of his call data did not establish any direct link to the incident. Additionally, review is ongoing as we remain in communication with the investigative team. To bolster the investigation, Crime Search and Intelligence Bureau officers from the DCI headquarters were deployed to provide technical support and revisit the crime scene. In addition, Honorable Speaker, call data from the several other persons of interest has been received and is undergoing forensic analysis. Statement has been recorded and the investigation is still ongoing. On the status of robbery in violence against Madam Rosalinda, husband, Upon receipt of preliminary correspondence from Honorable Emmanuel Wangwe, seeking an update of the status into a robbery with violence, officers from the Mumia Police Station conducted a thorough review of the station occurrence book from the year 2023 to date. However, no entry on robbery with violence incident was found. This prompted the officers from the Directorate of DCI based at Matungu Police Station to initiate a follow-up action by summoning Mr. Paul Weshule. He acknowledged that the incident had not been booked. As a result, a late entry report concerning the alleged robbery with violence was formally booked via OB number 12-16-525. His statement was subsequently recorded to facilitate the commencement of the investigation into the matter. He reported the incident occurred in May 2023 at Arambe area while he was riding his motorcycle toward Bungoma town. Though he could not recall the exact date and time, he had withdrawn a total of 260 from 3 different banks in Mumias town. He stated that he was accosted and robbed of the money, then abandoned near the Yala River in Quisero sub-county. He went to Mumia Police Station on the same day and to make a report. However, the police assessed his condition. They advised him to seek medical attention first and return to the station afterward to make a report and record his statement. Unfortunately, he did not return. Investigation in the incident has commenced. So, Honorable Speaker, that is what I have to say also concerning the Wangwe's question.
Emmanuel Wangwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to thank the Chair for that good communication. However, Honorable Speaker, on the same line, Honorable Speaker, I also want to appreciate that I got the statement in advance, which was good enough for me to have read it and understood what it is. What is there, Honorable Speaker, is that let the Chair just push for the investigation. Don't tire with that statement. We want to get to the bottom of the whole issue, particularly, Honorable Speaker, where they murdered the wife, and just a year ago, they robbed the husband. Both of them who have been teachers. It's an issue that's affecting my constituency, and it's an issue which, Honorable Speaker, the Chair should push to the latter. I also want to appreciate that, Honorable Speaker, my request for the headquarters of DCI to send thorough officers has been accepted, and I can see officers from CRIB have been sent. That's good, and I want to appreciate, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Tongoyo, that's a comment. You can follow up and give the member an update as and when you have additional material. James Onyango Koyo, request to agriculture. Yes, Tongoyo?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Sorry, I need your guidance, Honorable Speaker. We had a statement by Honorable Doris Donya, which was last week. She wasn't in the House, and she has been really insisting that she's allowed to
list it for next week. We are pressed for time.
Thank you.
Doris, go to the table office and have it listed for next week. Dr. Mutunga, are you ready with the statement? Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to standing order number 44-2C to respond to the question by Honorable Onyango Koyo MP requesting a statement on the 12th of March 2025 regarding the possession of the leasing program of the state-owned sugar farms, particularly Moroni and Chemelil sugar companies. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development has responded as follows, and I will summarize. First of all, the honorable member wanted to know the status update on the possession of the leasing program as of the state-owned sugar farms with reference to Moroni and Chemelil sugar companies. The tenders were advertised internationally on the 28th of February 2025. On 4th of March 2025, the bids were received. Tender closing date tenders were advertised then, and then they were supposed to be received on that date, and tender closing date was on 25th of March 2025. Bids were received and evaluated and tenders were awarded. The leasing results were as follows. Moron Sugar Company, which is already under receivership, went to West Valley Sugar Company Limited. And Chemelil Sugar Company went to Kibos Sugar and Allied Industries Limited. The handover date was 10th of March 2025, and the current status is such that the leasing term is for 30 years, as approved by the National Assembly, and I have the approval notice or certificate, Honorable Speaker, by this House, which is number 039 of 13th, 2023. The second issue that the honorable member was pursued was the criteria used to tender in tender evaluation regarding the leasing program of Moroni and Chemelil Sugar Companies. Honorable Speaker, the bid evaluation was conducted under regulation that 1 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2020. The bidders received were as follows. For Moroni Sugar Company, we had 2 bidders, 2 bids, West Valley Sugar Company and Kibos Sugar and Allied Industries Limited. For Chemelil Sugar, we had Sukari Sugar Industry Limited and Kibos Sugar and Allied Industries Limited. The evaluation stages were as follows. The first one was mandatory compliance check, where the bidder had to deposit 200 million as security bid. And the certificate of registration was supposed to have been there. The tax registration also needed to be there, and compliance certificate. CR12 was also supposed to be submitted, and other eligibility documents. The technical evaluation followed, where the companies were checked against the technical requirements. No material deviations, reservations, or omissions were observed. Bidders scoring over 80% or 80% and above advanced to the financial evaluation stage. The qualified bidders in this particular respect was, with respect to Moroni, West Valley Sugar Company, and with respect to Chemelil, Kibos Sugar and Allied Industries Limited. The financial evaluation progressed well, and they were assessed. All the financial aspects were assessed as per the set criteria. Negotiation followed, whereby the successful bidders were engaged in a negotiation process before the award. The third issue that the honorable member sought was the composition of the tender committee that considered the leasing exercise and the recommendations they made. Honorable Speaker, the composition was as follows. The Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development was represented. The National Treasury and Economic Planning Ministry was represented. Kenya Sugar Board was represented, and we had a representative from the Privatization Commission of Kenya. So the recommendations were as follows from the bidders. From the evaluation committee, Moron Sugar Company was to be awarded to West Valley Sugar Company Limited, which met all the qualifications and was responsive. Also, Chemelil Sugar Company was awarded to Kibos and Allied Industries Limited, which also met the qualifications and was responsive. The fourth issue that the honorable member did seek clarification on was clarification on the fate of the current workers in the affected farms. These are the clarification, Honorable Speaker. Number 1, the workers are to be actively engaged during the transition period to ensure continuity. And investors were to retain workers for up to 12 months post-handover, and then pick those that they believe should move on. During the 12 months, the workers were to remain under existing terms and conditions of employment. The investors were also to identify and retain the needed employees. The government was to settle all the salary arrears, benefits, and emoluments owed before the handover. I submit, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I've listened with a lot of interest to the response by my colleague, the respected chair of the Agriculture Committee, and I want to tell him that I feel that the response is grossly inefficient. We were given the impression that the purpose of leasing out this industry was to make the industry work better for the citizenry. I am more interested in what is going to benefit the farmers
the workers, and generally the locals who donated land when the government came up with this process of starting the industries. We may need the Cabinet Secretary to come to your committee and demonstrate to us one by one, because we want to put below every process that was done. While the intention was very good, but the process was flawed somewhere in between. And we think we need more clarification. But more so, our fear is about the land, and I'm happy that none other than His Excellency has spoken to this fact, that land is not going to be interfered with. My apprehension that in Muhoroni Sugar Company, the title deeds have since been removed from a strong room, and kept by a receiver manager. We don't know at whose behest or what he's doing with it. This we are not going to take lightly, and the minister has to come and tell us that land is not going to be an issue. It's not what we are going to ask another time. If the position of land must be made very clearly, that the investors, the lessees, are going to make use the factories that they have been so far leased to, but they are not going to interfere with the land issue. Also, we may want to know some of the conditions were being flouted, like it was important that any company that had a court case was not supposed to benefit from this program. But we have seen one of the companies that has a litany of court cases has benefited here. So we'll need the Cabinet Secretary to find time, come to your committee, and we will come and walk us through the system. Then we can rest assured that it is correct. Otherwise, thank you very much at this stage.
Thank you. That was just a speech, Mutunga. Yes, Carol Omondi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I want to joyride on Honorable Koyo's question. And in terms of Article 35 of the Constitution, Article 201 of the Constitution, Section 23 of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act and our standing orders, ask the chairman to submit to this House the following transactional documents in relation to the leasing of the sugar factories. Number one, the tender package and selection records. The entire process, how the bidders were identified, the tendering process. We need to see the advert, the evaluation, everything. Secondly, we would like to see copies of individual lease agreements for each of the mills, Muhoroni, Chemelil, Sony, Nzoia. We would also like to see the investment program as proposed by each of the bidders and the performance guarantees that they have provided, including those that have been issued by banks in case they default. We would like to see documentation confirming that the lessees will not charge the nucleus estate to borrow money. We want audited accounts of all the preferred bidders for the last 7 years. We want the constituent instruments of all the preferred bidders and declaration of who their beneficial owners are. We also want evidence of public participation in the selection of the preferred bidders, including minutes. We need letters of reference from banks and other industry players vouching for the bidders. And last but penultimate, we need legal opinion of the Attorney General, a copy of the legal opinion of the Attorney General on these transactions relating to the leasing of the mills. And finally, Honorable Speaker, we need an opinion from the Competition Authority as to how the bidders who have been selected, their presence will affect competition and market concentration in the sectors. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mutunga, go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm aware of the fact that the Honorable Member who has just spoken, Karoli Omondi, has a question to the Minister. And I believe what I will do as the Chair is to write to the Minister to make sure that all these issues that the Honorable Member wants to see are brought to the House the day he comes to respond to the question. On the other hand, Honorable Speaker,
better still, invite the Minister to your committee and invite the member to interrogate him.
He already asked a question. I don't know whether he should not come and answer the question.
Okay.
Here. Yeah, please.
Yes, Carol.
Honorable Speaker, I have a question, but my question relates to the nucleus estate of Miwani Sugar.
which has not been...
That's okay, I've given direction.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Mtunga, proceed that way. That's the end of statement time. Majority Leader, give your Thursday statement.
Shortly. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Yes. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2a, I rise to give the following statement on behalf of the House Business Committee, which met on Tuesday, 3rd June 2025, to prioritize business for consideration during this week. With regard to business scheduled for Tuesday next week, the House is expected to continue with the consideration of the following bills, should they not be concluded today. One is the second reading of the Learners with Disabilities Bill, Senate Bill number 4 of 2023. Two, the Political Parties Amendment Bill, Bill number 2, Senate Bill number 26 of 2024. And 3, the National Cohesion and Integration Bill, National Assembly Bill number 74 of 2023. 2 is the Committee of the Whole House on the Value Added Tax Amendment Bill 2025. Additionally, Honorable Speaker, debate will be undertaken on the following motions, should they not be concluded today. 1, consideration of the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement between the Republic of Kenya and the United Arab Emirates. 2, report on the ratification of the agreement on fisheries subsidies. And 3, report on the performance audit report on the provision of services to persons with disabilities by the National Council for Persons with Disabilities. Honorable Speaker, as the House will recall, you issued a communication on the priority business that will come before the House during this part of the session, notably relating to the budget process. As such, members will note that general debate commenced on the budget estimates of revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2025-2026, which commenced yesterday afternoon and is expected to end today in line with your communication earlier as per the supplementary order paper. This being the third and final allotted day for general debate on the estimates. Therefore, it's important for members to note anybody who wants to contribute on the budget estimates, you have up to the close of business today to do so. Thereafter, Honorable Speaker, the House will consider the estimates in Committee of Supply, which is listed as order number 11 in today's order paper, but which you have since directed will come on Tuesday next week. Indeed, the House has resolved to sit until conclusion of Committee of Supply on Tuesday, so as to pave way for other budget-related business dependent on the estimates. I therefore urge members to be available in the House and to actively participate in the Committee of Supply, where actual budget making is undertaken. Honorable Speaker, the approval of the estimates will be followed by the prioritization of budget-related bills, notably the Finance Bill 2025 and the Appropriation Bill of 2025. The House Business Committee will prioritize these bills for consideration in the coming weeks, taking into consideration the statutory timelines applicable to the budget-making process. Honorable Speaker, in order to accord priority to time-bound budget-related business, we have not scheduled any Cabinet Secretary to appear before the House to respond to members' questions pursuant to the provisions of Standing Orders 42A, 5, and 6. I wish to reassure members that we will resume question time as soon as we complete the budget-making process. Honorable Speaker, further to your communication issued on 27th May 2025 regarding priority business for the second part of the fourth session, I wish to remind the House that in line with Section 40 of the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 412A, the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Economic Planning is scheduled to make a public pronouncement on the budget policy highlights and the revenue-raising measures for the national government for the financial year 2025-2026 next week on Thursday, 12th June 2025. Finally, Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee will reconvene again on Tuesday, 10th June 2025 to schedule business for the rest of that week. I now wish to lay this statement on the table of the House. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, with your indulgence, allow me to take this opportunity to express the House's gratitude to our legal team that represented us in the matter of RMLF in court, and all the honorable members who volunteered their time to also advise the legal team and be with them, led by the Honorable Kaluma, who even this afternoon was listening through to the judgment that has just been delivered this afternoon. I say congratulations to our legal team and also the negotiation team that was negotiating with the governors, and also congratulate the courts for the very progressive judgment that they have delivered this afternoon. Honorable Speaker, it is a good judgment, very progressive for this country and the people of Kenya who have suffered immensely with roads going unattended to because of the money that was being held, the 10 billion shillings belonging to Kera that was being held. And I hope the CS will now immediately, forthwith, release that 10.5 billion to Kera. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Order, members on their feet, take your seats. Order, honorable members. That illegal Kamkunji, can you disband and take your seats? Honorable Madenga, take the nearest seat. Honorable members, before we go to the next order, in the public gallery, we have Tala Girls High School from Matungulu, Machakos. In the speaker's gallery, we have Karori High School from Kiamba, Kiambu, and Kenyoho Secondary School from Kandara, Muranga. Also in the speaker's gallery, we have 2 members of staff from the Budget Department of the Parliament of Ghana. The 2 officers are on a visit to the National Assembly to benchmark with our Parliamentary Budget Office on the budget-making process. They are welcome to observe the proceedings of the House. And I join the House in welcoming all the students, their teachers, and those accompanying them. Honorable members, I also have a short communication on the variance in the global figure on financial year 2025-2026 budget estimates for recurrent and development expenditure. Honorable members, as you will note, in today's order paper, the House is scheduled to resume debate on the motion on the consideration of the budget estimates for the financial year 25-26. The conclusion of this will pave the way for the consideration of the estimates in Committee of Supply, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 240. As earlier directed, this will be undertaken on Tuesday, 10th June 2025 on a priority basis. I've directed the clerk to avoid loading the order paper with too many issues so that after the preliminaries, we'll go straight to the Committee of Supply. Honourable members, I wish to notify the House that as will be noted in the supplemental order paper, there is a variance on the global figure being sought to be issued from the consolidated fund between the notes of motion as issued and as currently contained in the supplementary order paper. This variance has been occasioned by a reconciliation of the figures against the various votes contained in the first schedule to the supplementary order paper. Honourable members, when I looked at the figure in the motion and the figure in the Committee of Supply, I noted some variance, so I instructed the Budget Office to scan through carefully and advise me on where the variance was coming from. And the variance now corrects the figure to 2,538,593,978,440 and not 2,538,293,978,440. The variance was about 300 million, and my budget office informs me that it was an error in additions that caused this. The motion will therefore be considered with the correct figure as shown on the supplementary order paper, which is indeed published in the supplementary order paper today. The House is accordingly guided. I also join everybody in congratulating Peter Opondo Kaluma and our team of lawyers, Murugara and others, All the lawyers of the House, we acknowledge you, Mili Odhiambo, Otiende Omolo, Mwengi Mutuse, John Makali, and Osoro, TJ Kajwang. Who is that raising his hand? Are you a lawyer? Naika, you are not a lawyer. Yes. Andon Olwach, for gallantly fighting for you and the constituents' best MPs. Today is your day to smile. Honorable Gashimo, yes, as a learned colleague, today is your day to smile because your RMLF provision is back to you. Thank you. And these gallant lawyers of the House have been acting pro bono. Pro bono means, Carolo Monde, I didn't mention you, pro bono means without any payment of fees. So they have been acting for you for free. Next order. Yes, Jared.
Honorable Speaker, firstly allow me to congratulate our gallant lawyers and above all congratulate you for leading the team through this, Honorable Speaker. So finally we are getting our fair share. Honorable Speaker, just today there was a pronouncement from a court of law that seems to be injuncting this House over a bill that is yet to be presented here, Honorable Speaker. And this relates to the National Government Constituency Fund, which we just completed the process of public participation, Honorable Speaker. So I know Kenyans are more litigious, particularly civil society, Honorable Speaker. But how do they then go ahead to preempt what is not even before us, Honorable Speaker? Do we treat this as a judgment, or we treat this as idle stand-byers, Honorable Speaker? Because we are lost. How do we injunct something that is not with us?
My view on that is well known, Honorable Okello. Call the next order. We'll deal with it.
Order number 8, motion. Ratification of the agreement under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea on the conservation and sustainable use of marine biological diversity of areas beyond national jurisdiction. Question to be put.
Members on their feet, take your seats. Students in the gallery walking out, you freeze where you are. Order. Honorable Elachi, take the nearest seat. Honorable members, I now put the question at order number 8, which is that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation on its consideration of the agreement under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea on the conservation and sustainable use of marine biological diversity of areas beyond national jurisdiction agreement laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 4th June 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 8(4) of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act 2012 approves the ratification of the agreement under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea on the conservation and sustainable use of marine biological diversity of areas beyond national jurisdiction, BBN agreement. As members of that opinion say aye. As members of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion. Consideration of the budget estimates for the financial year 2025-2026. General debate. Third and final allotted day. Resumption of debate.
Honorable members, the last member to speak was Honorable Naomi Wako, who exhausted her time. Robert Mbui, I hope you have logged in for this. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for an opportunity to also contribute on this matter of the budget estimates for this financial year, 2025-2026. Mr. Speaker, I want to make a few comments on the issue of the budget of this year. First and foremost, noting that the budget has gone up to 4.23 1.99 trillion, which is quite a lot higher than the previous year. And it keeps escalating every year, it keeps going up. And Mr. Speaker, going through the report, because I've taken time to go through the report of the committee, there is some sense of pride that I have seen in the fact that the budget is bigger this time. And Mr. Speaker, also that the revenues, is an increased, revenues collected. And Mr. Speaker, when you look at the reasons why the revenues have gone up, it is because of an increase in income tax, an increase in VAT, increase in excise duty collections, and also the introduction of new taxes like the housing levy. Mr. Speaker, it is important to be very careful about the wording, because I know that a lot of people are still pained at the level of, the level of taxation in the country. Because when you look at the wording on Section 31, where it says that this increased revenue is reflecting optimism in the ongoing tax policy reforms and enhanced revenue administration measures. Madam Speaker, that really isn't the truth, because a lot of people out there have been complaining about, the disposable income and how much lower it has gone as a result of those increased taxations. So, Mr. Speaker, it's important to be careful how we word these issues so that people do not remember the pain that they are feeling. Madam Speaker, we are also talking about an increase in appropriations in aid. And that basically is also not a positive thing, because, Madam Speaker, what it really means is that the cost of government services are also going up. And that therefore means that some of our people may not be able to afford the basic services that are supposed to be provided. So when we are celebrating an increase in revenue and celebrating an increase in collections by, government agencies, then we forget that this is money coming out of the pockets of Kenyans who are promised that they would have much more money in their pockets. But despite all this, Madam Speaker, I also notice, again, as usual, we still have a hole in our budget, a deficit in our budget, a deficit to the tune of 876.1 billion. And this deficit, Madam Speaker, will be plugged by borrowing. Now, I go back 2-3 years, and I remember our political leaders were very categorical when they said, we will not borrow in future. But every single budget that is brought to this house, we have to borrow. We are still borrowing. I am not saying that borrowing is bad, but there is an amount of borrowing that goes beyond what we can afford to pay. And even the complaints by the committee itself about the cost of the debt we already have, it flies on the face of exactly what we are doing. Now, Madam Speaker, on the issue of borrowing, 284.2 billion is being borrowed externally, and 591.9 billion from the domestic market. Madam Speaker, what does that mean? Again, we are crowding out local investors. The minute the government borrows locally, it means that the money that was available for businesses to borrow so that they can finance their activities is not available, because government is an easier person, is an easier entity to lend to. So by borrowing too much money locally, it means we are crowding out the private sector. And therefore, that means in the long run, the businesses cannot thrive in this country because they have no access to loan capital. Madam Speaker, I've gone through the submissions by departmental committees, and some of them are quite horrific. I do know that there are some changes that have been made and proposed after the discussions, but let me talk about just 2 or 3 committees. The first one is the Education Committee. The Education Committee actually noticed that there was a failure to provide funds for examinations, national examinations. And Madam Speaker, this has happened, in the past, and we have actually sorted out that problem through supplementary budgets. Why are we not taking the education of our children seriously, so that we can provide enough funds for all the activities required for education to take place properly? If you want to destroy a nation, just play around with the education of that country. And that is what is going on, because if you do not provide money, enough money from Treasury directly for examinations, then it means we are not even thinking ahead. So, Madam Speaker, that is one of the things that was raised by the departmental committee. And yet it is one thing that is already in the Basic Education Act, that which we passed. I think we made amendments in 2018, that examinations in this country for basic education will be free. Madam Speaker, the committee has also talked about substantial deficits in the Department of Higher Education to sponsor this university funding model. Madam Speaker, if we don't provide enough money for that funding model, how then are we saying that we are reviving our universities, we are helping our universities, and we are helping our children? In fact, the committee says that, and these are their words, that this will impact negatively on the students' welfare and increase financial strain on them, not to forget also on their parents. So, Madam Speaker, these are some